Appreciate it. All right, can y'all see that?
Yes.
Let's go.
Yes.
All right, appreciate everybody joining us this morning, especially those of y'all further out west that have gotten up really early for this. Just kind of want to go through a little bit of where we've been and where we're trying to go in terms of electronic outreach and our primary resource, Cotton Cultivated, that's kind of the delivery mechanism for everything that we're trying to do in that area. So going back in the, getting in the Wayback Machine, where did this start and why? In 2011, the board recommended to the Ag and Environmental Research Department that they wanted an easier way to access the research that was being funded, the results from that research that was hold on a second, got it on this timer apparently. To get the research that was out there through electronic means. And so that was the first thing we did, was the Cotton Cultivated website. And we had a long series of meetings that we historically did called the Crop Management Seminar. And so in 2012, for the first time, instead of just having that meeting, we recorded the talks at that meeting, and it turned out being very popular. So in anytime we'd have that meeting, it was in person. We'd have maybe 150 to 200 people there, and whoever showed up, they got the information, and that was essentially the end of it. But the first year that we recorded the talks and posted them online, we went from having just impacting the 150 to 200 people there. We had 7,500 presentation views within the first 6 months. So we're like, all right, we're on to something here, not just holding static meetings, but let's take the talks from something and turn them into a webcast and post them online. That was our first avenue at getting the information out there to growers that way. That led to the release of the Focus on Cotton series through what was called the Plant Management Network at the time, but they've now shifted to their branding. They're now known as Grow Plant Health Exchange, but they are housing the Focus on Cotton webcast series that I'll go through in a minute. Then through several discussions, we ended up wanting to take this to the next level and not just working with a third party to host webcasts, but we wanted to create a website that Cotton Incorporated manages. And that was what turned into the Cotton Cultivated website. So we started there. We knew that our first example was just going to be, we went with a minimal viable product on that. We didn't really know what we were doing, so we kind of put our toes in the water, and that we designed it so that it could be editable over time. We made some tweaks over the years. And then finally, this last year, we decided to do a total redesign of the website. And that's what I'm going to go through right now. So if you were to go to Cotton Cultivated, and just the easiest way to get there is to Google Cotton Cultivated, and it'll be the first thing that comes up. This is your homepage. So this is where you get started. And I'm going to scroll through a little bit of the homepage just to show you everything that's there before I get into the details of actually how the site works and some of the other features. So if you were to first go there, this is what you see. If you scroll right down from the top line of the page, you'll come to our midweek weather outlook. And this is one of the most popular resources on the website. If you don't have a subscription, there's a subscribe button. So if you go to Cotton Cultivated and you want to subscribe to get this weekly weather outlook, just head right there, click the subscribe button, give your email, and you'll start getting a reminder every week that it's coming. But this is a weekly weather outlook put out by Nutrien that is tailored for the Cotton Belt. So they've got like a My Morning Farm report. If you've got a subscription to Nutrien services, there's a larger description just about the ag scape in general. but this one is specifically focused for the Cotton Belt, and it just gives you an idea of what's going to happen for the week to come. It comes out, we aim to have it out by Thursday morning, but the guy that does it is extremely popular, and he's kind of on basically a 365-day tour of ag meetings, just talking about weather and the impacts of weather on ag. So sometimes it's Thursday, sometimes it's Friday, but if you sign up for the update, you'll get pinged every time it comes out. If you scroll down right below that, that's where we're highlighting a webcast from the Focus on Cotton series that we feel is either relevant to the immediate growing season, some practice that we're trying to implement, or just something that's new that we'd like to highlight. And one of the more recent cotton and coffees was done on carbon markets, and Jesse Daystar did a webcast on that. So if you listen to the cotton and coffee and you've got some additional questions, or if you weren't able to make it, there's more information here that Jesse covers in these webcasts. And I also want to point out, if you've ever been to a meeting and you've tried to go back and watch some of the presentations from the meeting, this is a little different. Typically, it just plays kind of as a video and goes straight through. And if you're trying to remember, all right, what did he say on slide 3, you've kind of got to like inch back and try to remember that he said that at like minute 255. Well, this is all segmented by slide. So every single slide is delineated by the slide. So if you just want to go to the summary slide, you can click right there. If you want to go back and say, I want to hear the introduction again, you don't have to worry about the scroll bar. You just click on the individual slides and it takes you right there. So we've got the featured webcast there. We also, on the main page of Cotton Cultivated, have the 4 most recently published webcasts. So if you just are trying to stay up to date, it's a quick way to do it, to see what's most recent. We also have a link right under that to go to the Focus on Cotton webcast series, which is housed on Grow. And there we've got an extensive library of everything we've done going back to 2013. So that's the more, if you kind of want to go down the rabbit hole, that's where you can do that. If you just want to stay up to date on the most recent ones, you can do that directly from the Cotton Cultivated homepage. So if you scroll right down from the Focus on Cotton, right below that, we've kind of got a curated cotton news section. It's basically an RSS feed from some of the popular press, like including Cotton Farming, just some of the more recent articles dealing with typically cotton specific, but sometimes you get other things pop up in there, but just things related to agriculture, primarily cotton, just automatically whatever's the newest articles there are fed here. We've also got cotton market news, the information that Cotton Incorporated puts out through our corporate website and other means. This is just another way to reach that. And it's also the crop quality information that Cotton Incorporated puts out weekly. You can find on the homepage too. And so maybe that's a good way to say in a nutshell, what we're trying to do with the website is we're not generating a lot of new content. We're just trying to make it easier. So all of these different things are somewhere else on the web. But I find it difficult to try to remember and keep track of where everything is. Cotton Cultivated is kind of a one-stop shop where you can get the news, you can get your webcast, you can get your weather, and then provide all sorts of additional access to the research results that we're funding too. And so that's what I want to get into now, is kind of giving an overview of, if you're now interested, so that most of the homepage is just current information. It just that's easily digestible. And while you're there, you might as well get in there and browse through and try to see if there's some relevant production research results that might impact your farm, or if you want your consultant to get on here more regularly and see what we've got, just ping them, let them know that this resource exists. But back to the homepage, you've got a number of ways that you can dig into the research information that's on the website. And I'll start with just this bar that's right above the picker there. This is kind of a pre-filter to get into the resource directory, that you can start by a particular topic. Like if you're interested in production practices primarily, just click on that. And if all you want to do is you're just interested in insect management, you're not at the whatever's on your mind, it's bugs at the moment. All you got to do is hit production. You click on insect management. If it's variety selection, if it's weeds, this is where you go to hit that. We also have, if it's more time of the season when you're just interested in getting some market news, fiber quality, business development, some of the economic resources that Cotton Incorporated's put out, we've got that high level first filter right there available. If you're just generally interested in region, like, all right, I just want to see what's the latest that's coming out in my region, or even if you're just kind of curious about what's happening in other regions, like that might have somewhat similar environment or similar issues to yours, you can just hit by region and then move from there. We've also got your first high level cut can be at season. Right now everybody's thinking about getting things prepared, and as we're moving into planting, and so you can just see what populates first coming up on that. And then the next thing I want to talk about is one of the newest features that we've added is, well, let me back up, but just going into the resource directory real quick. So once let's say that you do click on planting or preparing or whichever one you've clicked on, that'll bring you to the resource directory, and it pops up. What you'll see here are these little boxes to where you would be able to then click on whichever tool or whichever website or whichever PDF has come up. In any of those selections, whether you click production information or season, you can then, once you're in there, you can filter again within all of those. Any first level order filter you've used, once you get into the resource directory, then you can fine tune it to exactly what you're looking for. So once you're in there, and if you've started finding things, I would recommend creating your own account. And this is something that we didn't have available on the previous website. So you can just create an account, and what it allows you to do is kind of click your interests. Like if there's things that you're interested in, it'll ping you when we have new information posted about a particular production practice or a particular reason, a particular region or a particular season, whatever you're interested in, you can just kind of populate that. And that brings you to your feed. And so that's, once you've selected all those presets of the things that you're interested in, it'll create a custom feed of that type of information. You can also, with the little hearts, you can click on that and that'll go into your saved resources bin. So if there's something that you saw that you found particularly valuable, you can save it. And so you don't have to dig back through everything to try to find it again. You can just hit it and it'll be right there in your saved resources. And then we've also got, this is a new feature as well, to where you've got this little symbol right here allows you to like immediately share a resource with either a neighbor or your consultant or somebody. You can hit it through Facebook or Twitter, LinkedIn, send an email. So going back to the homepage, here's I want to go through a couple of other features that we've added. So we're trying to incorporate more information here that might also be valuable as we're trying to convey to the broader community the good things that are happening in cotton and the types of things and the information that's being provided to growers. So the first one I'll go through is this operations tab. And one thing, we're dealing a fair amount with brands and retailers, and Mark Massur's group, supply chain marketing, is working with them, and we're trying to explain to the broader cotton sourcing community the good things that are happening with the research, but we also want to make available not just to the ag community but to others. Like, here's how we're using pesticide safety safely, and how the information that's available in order to make that happen. So we've got the highline of this is about health and safety. It's just an overview about pesticide labels, what's a label, how you read a label. We've also got everything related to the pesticide worker safety standard that's easily accessible at just a click of a button. So you don't have to try to explain to somebody where to go find it, and it's, dig super deep on EPA's website. We also have stuff about finances, loans, and different federal programs. Some of this is coming from the National Cotton Council's website, but we've got farm finance stuff, decision aids, loans, and calculators. We've got a good bit about crop insurance and the different government programs that are available to help your farm along. Now, I apologize. Can y'all hear my dog barking? Hold on, give me 1 second. I apologize. Sorry about that. I had her outside. I thought that would be enough, and she decided to come and sit right by the back door and just bark incessantly. So my apologies. So as I was saying, a lot of this is available through the National Cotton Council and just other sources on the web. Like some of these technical resources from the council, the first 40 days, things, other resources out there that we think the broader grower community would find valuable. We also have added an industry section that provides information on the broader things that we're doing to try to improve cotton production just across the industry. One of the first things that we're highlighting there is the 10-year industry goals. And so we've got a bit just kind of in general, what is the industry trying to do? How are we trying to improve production practices? And we've got a section right below that where you can click on each of the key performance indicators that we're trying to make improvements in. And there's a little video that just kind of gives an overview of what we're doing and why we're trying to make improvements in these particular areas. So we've also got a section just so that people are more broadly aware of the other industry organizations that are out there. We've got a link to the Cotton Foundation, National Cotton Council of America, and also the Cotton Board, just so if people are interested, they can find out more about the national organizations that are out there. We've also got a interactive tool so that you can click on a state and see which of which grower organizations are active in your state. So if you want to get more involved in any of the national or state organizations, we've got a section here to help you to be able to figure out which organizations are there, and so you can possibly get more involved. So now I'll kind of go through, I want to jump back in to in a little more detail about Focus on Cotton and the webcast that we're doing. So as I mentioned on our homepage, you've got the one that we're highlighting. But if you actually go to the Focus on Cotton web page through Grow Plant Health Exchange, this is what you're going to see. We've got the featured webcast and the most recent webcast, and also the most viewed webcast at the top. And then just below that would be the ones that are just published. And then if you scroll down the page through that, we've got it separated by subject area. So if you're interested in weeds, diseases, insect control, that's where the library resides on this page. We've also got a section for conferences. So when I was mentioning earlier that we had we used to host the crop management seminar. It was an in-person meeting. What we've done, instead of us hosting one meeting, we've decided to fund having the presentations recorded at 4 meetings that are occurring in each of the different regions. So it's in terms of the overall cost to the company, we're pretty much flat on that. But instead of just us having one meeting, we're now partnering with other conferences and making the recordings and making them available through the Focus on Cotton. So if you go to the Focus on Cotton webpage, you can see the conferences section. And the three that we've been doing for a while are the Mississippi Row Crop Short Course, which has a lot of good information for the Mid-South. We've got the West Texas Ag Chemical Institute meeting that occurs out in Lubbock for West Texas and that region. We've recently started with the Great Plains Cotton Conference, which has been held in Wichita each of the last few years. And we're going to start working with the Georgia Cotton Commission to start capturing the presentations at their meetings. And they'll all be available through Cotton Cultivated and the Focus on Cotton webcast series. Another thing I want to mention, if webcasts aren't your thing, we worked with a couple of the cotton specialists to create the Cotton Specialist Corner podcast this year. If you are a podcast listener, just go to wherever you get your podcasts and type in Cotton Specialist Corner. It'll come right up. It's on all the major podcast platforms. And this is just a listing of, we haven't started back up this year, but these are the episodes from last year. And so even they're timely. The purpose of the series is to release timely information, extension information to growers. And so even if you haven't seen it or haven't listened to it, going back and starting at episode 1, it's about planting preparation. So that a lot of that doesn't really change. So it's still relevant, even though it came out in April of last year. Then we move into replant decision, early season insect management, planting update. And then just as you move through the season, it's just hitting on a timely topic. And so we're also planning to continue this for this year, and it'll just add to the different, as you move through the season, you've just got an array of issues to deal with. And it just is trying to deal with, like, if there's, whatever's hot and important at the time, just put out a quick podcast on that. But I encourage you to sign up and subscribe to that, and it'll just ping you every time there's a new episode. So if you're interested in any of this, it's super simple to find all of it. You just do a Google search. If you're looking for Cotton Cultivated, we're the #1 hit. So if you Google Cotton Cultivated, it'll come right up. If you're looking to find more about the Focus on Cotton and the library and all the other webcasts that are there, hit the Focus on Cotton series. And then the Cotton Specialist Corner is the podcast, and you can find that wherever you get your podcasts, or if you Google it, it will also come up. And so that's just kind of wanted to end there with the back to the main page. You've got a number of different ways that you can access information, and if you're ever there, I mean, I would say that just the weather video alone is worth it. And so go there, check out the weather video, and then while you're there, browse around, see if there's other things that you might find of interest.